Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 3. Let's take a moment to think about where we're coming from and where we are going here together. So, last week, if you remember, we explored the primed model with a specific focus on prioritization and resource allocation. And I really loved reading your thoughts about the synergy between character education and academic achievement in your individual schools. And it was really interesting, especially to hear about your school's unique approaches when it comes to kind of integrating or not character education and academic programming. I hope it was comforting for you to realize that while all schools have really good intentions, truly no school does this perfectly because implementing solid character education while also trying to achieve a host of other competing goals within a complex organization serving diverse humans is no small task, no small ask. It was also really heartening for me personally to get to hear about your individual approaches to character education in your classrooms. I was just struck by what a selfless and caring group of educators we have in this particular course. Your students are so incredibly blessed to have you all in their lives. So, thank you for everything that you do each day to foster that holistic development in the people that you serve. Last week, you also had an opportunity to investigate tangible training opportunities and potential resources in your areas of interest related to enhancing character education. And so I'm excited to learn about those resources as I engage with your assignment number 2 work over the upcoming days. This week, we're going to specifically be focusing on the role of school climate, school structures, and school leadership when it comes to character education. Specifically, as we look at the materials for this week, you're going to have the opportunity to read Berkowitz chapters 8 through 10 and explore a couple of relevant websites related to those elements. You're also going to have an opportunity to respond to our discussion board question this week, which is around research and rationale in an area of your choice. So let's take a look at this together. Says there's research supporting the rationale for caring about school climate and character education. From the list below, select one point and find a recent article that discusses some aspect of the rationale behind this particular point. Want to make sure that you select an article that's been published within the past 5 years and that is a peer-reviewed article. Okay. So you can choose from among those options there, 1 through 5. Find your article and then enlighten us about that. What does research have to say when it comes to this particular point related to character education in school? So that'll be due on Thursday night by 11:59 p.m. And then your 2 peer responses will be due on Sunday night by 11:59 p.m. as well. Let's take a look at what else is on the agenda for us this week. You'll be thrilled to know that you do not have an assignment that's due on Sunday, March 24th. Your next assignment, assignment number 3, is actually a group assignment that's going to be due at the end of week 4, so on Sunday, March 31st. Let's preview that assignment together. You can do that by clicking on this link, which is going to open up the assignment document itself. So let's take a look at these instructions and make sure that you have everything that you need in order to be set up for success. All right. So this assignment is all about adoption and implementation of a character education program, specifically focused on how you might provide professional development to faculty. Okay, so instructional leaders are responsible for overseeing curriculum adoptions and implementation efforts, including faculty training. And that faculty training piece is super important because, as we all know from our years in the classroom, faculty buy in really does make or break the implementation of a solid school wide plan. Anything can sound great in theory, but unless we really meaningfully train the people who are going to be implementing that thing, it's not going to go very well for us at the school wide level. So this particular handout says in groups of 2 to 3, but I want to let you know I split you into 2 groups of 4. And in your 2 groups of 4, you're going to complete the following together in whatever way you see fit to collaborate as a group. Number 1, you're going to consider the needs of a school site that you're familiar with So you could select one of the people's schools in your particular group if that's interesting to you. Or if you can't land on one specifically, you can come up with a hypothetical school if you'd really like to. The point is that in relation to character education, want you to consider the following essential questions. Number one, what are some school-wide needs that you can identify when it comes to character education? And when you narrow that list down, what is one specific need that you would actually like to try to address as a group? Once you have that need identified, then think about what data or evidence supports the actual existence of that need. So, in school administration, we're always talking about doing needs based assessments. We can say there's a need, but we also have to demonstrate the existence of that need with data from our site. So, think about what that might be for you. Once you do that, number two, you're going to plan. Again, you're not going to implement this. You're just coming up with a plan. So you're going to plan a 1 hour professional development, highlighting a plan to address this most pressing need as determined in step one. Remember that that's going to be grounded in research based criteria and supported with scholarly research. So, as you're thinking about potential opportunities that you might implement at your site, look for some different programs that are out there and then try to find some scholarly research evaluating those particular resources or reinforcing the need for things like that in your particular site. Okay. Your plan's going to include adoption and implementation of a specific character education program. So be sure to tell me what character education program you're promoting. How does the program work? And what scholarly evidence do you have that such a program is actually going to work? As part of this, you're going to have to begin by convincing some of the staff that the needs you discovered are real and worth addressing, and that your particular proposal is actually going to effectively address those needs. So you're going to convince them of the importance of character education program at your site and of your specific program in particular. Number three, in your plan, want to be sure to include the following criteria: a description of the proposed character education program or plan and scholarly evidence to support it, the goals and objectives of that proposed plan in terms of eventual implementation at your site, and then ways to harness and maximize the efforts and resources of the community, the site, and family stakeholders. So I should get a sense of the value of partnerships in this curricular effort, because truly, when we do anything school wide, we have to make sure that all key stakeholders are involved. Okay, we're going to skip over step four because I'm going to explain the logistics of the groups to you in just a moment. So, looking at number five with me, what is the actual outcome then that your group is going to produce for this assignment? The first part is you're going to prepare a Google slideshow or Canva or whatever other visual presentation that you would like to do for this assignment. The slideshow can be between 18 to 20 slides. And this slideshow is just going to articulate what we just went through in terms of those first few points on the instruction sheet. Once you have your slideshow created, the next part is that you're going to use a voiceover tool or a video recording tool of your choice to present and elaborate upon your ideas. Okay. If you're not used to doing something like that, if you click right here on the instruction sheet, that will take you to one really simple example of how to do a simple voiceover using a PowerPoint presentation, if you'd like to do it that way. Another option is you could all hop into a Zoom room together and do a quick Zoom video recording of yourselves presenting your slideshow. Really, whatever way your group wants to construct and do this is absolutely okay by me. I want to give you a lot of autonomy within the framework here, but I did at least want to give you two tangible ideas about how you might be able to do that. Okay, and then again, please include a minimum of 3 scholarly references to support your work. Okay. Um, just to clarify, again, your plan includes basically this idea for an hour-long professional development. Your presentation to me is not going to be an hour long, my friends. So you're just creating an 18 to 20 slide show that includes all of this amazing information that you're going to find and synthesize and create. And then you're going to present to me for however long that happens to take you. So you are not implementing a full on hour-long professional development with me. You're simply sharing with me all of the work that you've done to get to the point where you could, in fact, go do that at your particular site. All right. And then just want to make sure that we have a good sense of the criteria for success here. So when it comes to identifying the needs of the school site, want to make sure there's a robust discussion of the current needs, that those are supported by ample evidence, and that you can show some sort of data to back up the evidence for as evidence for that particular need. In terms of your plan, you can see the criteria listed here under that highly developed column. Writing style and language mechanics tends to be pretty standardized across assignments, APA formatting, and then just looking at your delivery and your visuals there. So make sure to spend some time as a group looking through that highly developed column for those particular criteria so that you can be set up for success. So that's a little bit about the assignment itself. Let's go ahead and show you how you can access your groups for this particular assignment. So when you're ready to access your groups, you're going to scroll over to the left-hand side of our Canvas classroom, and you're going to click the People tab. When you click that People tab, if you slide over a little bit, you'll see how you're on the Everyone tab, and that gives you a list of everybody's name in the course. Go ahead and click next to that, to the right-hand side, click the Groups tab. And when you click the Groups tab, your groups are going to become available for you. So what you can do is if you scroll down and click on the arrow next to each group, you'll be able to see the people who have been randomly assigned to each particular group. So just to let you know, I did use the random generator feature in Canvas to create these groups. The random generator also randomly selected a group leader, and that person is indicated with the little person icon next to their name over in the left-hand side of those group boxes, okay? I strongly recommend that each group leader take the initiative to reach out to the members of your group via email early on this week so that you can set up a collaboration plan. Your group is welcome to collaborate for this assignment in whatever way makes the most sense to you in your busy lives. In the past, I've had some groups hop on to a synchronous Zoom for an initial meeting where they just talk with each other, get some general ideas going, split apart the work, and do it that way. I've also had groups use a shared Google document where they're collaborating asynchronously. I've had groups use a combination of both. So whatever you'd like to do, group leader, go ahead and reach out and at least start an initial group communication. You can use the People tab or the inbox in the classroom to communicate with each other. Set that up and so that you can decide very early on this week who's going to do what to contribute to this particular assignment. And your goal should really be to have a solid plan in place that allows your group to meet the criteria over these next 2 weeks for a timely submission on March 31st. All right. Finally, then, before you go off upon your individual endeavors this week, just want to invite you to contemplate the Christian message for the week with me, which comes from Matthew 11:29-30. It says, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." This really resonates with me. So, our Christian message kind of tells us how yokes were used in Bible times so that two animals could share the load of the work. And I think when we think about our vocation as educators, we're just not in an easy profession, right? There are so many demands that are constantly pulling at us as people, and sometimes our burden can feel really heavy. And so, if you do feel burdened, overworked, stressed out, or just have a general heaviness in your heart, you are truly not alone. My friends, Jesus is right there with you, walking alongside you through it all, offering to ease your burden through that knowledge that He's with you and that He's ultimately won the victory over death for you through His death and resurrection on the cross, and that He reconciles us to our Savior and Redeemer. And also, He gives us the beautiful gift of each other, right? So I just want to encourage you to reach out to those colleagues who can help share the load with you and help you see that you're not alone and share that burden. I am here to share the load with you as well. Please feel free to reach out to me at any point throughout the week with questions, concerns, just to connect. I'm here for you, rooting you on, truly in your corner. I look forward to interacting with you in the classroom this week, and I pray God's richest blessings on your week ahead.